Good evening and welcome to the 2024 Youth Month Oratorical Contest for the Middle School Division. My name is Lily Vinch.
And I am Ari Kiragwa,
your co-MCs for tonight's events. In a few minutes, we will hear from several contestants from various middle schools throughout the island who will present a speech on this year's Youth Month theme: breaking boundaries, building bridges, the power of diversity. At the end of tonight's events, one of these participants will be selected to serve as our Youth Lieutenant Governor on Island Leadership Day, scheduled for April 19th. But do not worry, all other participants, including the alternates, will have the opportunity to take part in Island Leadership Day, where they will too serve in various leadership roles throughout the government of Guam, to include the Guam Legislature, the Judiciary of Guam, the Mayor's Councils of Guam, and various government departments and agencies. Now for a few housekeeping announcements before we begin the program. The restrooms are in the lobby area across the stairway. Refreshments are provided in the lobby, and we kindly ask that you refrain from drinking or eating in the session hall. As a courtesy to our presenters, please place your phones on silent mode, and if you need to take a call, please do so outside the session hall. If you leave the session hall, please open and close the door slowly, as it can be loud and distracting to those presenting. If you are taking pictures, please ensure that the flash is off during the contest, and this event will be live streamed on the Guam Legislature's YouTube channel.
Thank you, Lily. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our dignitaries who are with us this evening. Please help me welcome Honorable Joshua F. Tenoyo, Segundo Magalahan Guahan, Lieutenant Governor of Guam, as well as the Honorable Amanda L. Shelton, Senator, Legislative Secretary, and Chairperson, Committee on Youth. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize those who are serving as the tabulators, timekeepers, and photographers, and the representatives of the Guam Youth Congress and Governor's Youth Advisory Council who are here volunteering their time in various capacities. If you could all please stand and be recognized. Thank you, everyone. To begin this evening's event and to give the welcoming remarks, please welcome the Director of the Department of Youth Affairs, Melanie Brennan.
Thank you, Lily and Irie. It is my great honor to welcome you to this beautiful space, this historic, the Guam Congress building, where tonight you'll have the pleasure of hearing from 7 very brave and brilliant middle school orators. I was lucky I got to preview some of the speeches, and let me tell you, you're in for a hard time, judges. I would also like to say that everyone here tonight, even though only one person takes home the bragging rights to be Lieutenant Governor on April 19th, Island Leadership Day, all of you, just getting here tonight makes you all winners. You stand apart from the crowd. Again, this is a great night. I'm super excited for the judges and the parents. I think that you're more nervous than the kids. And so, without further ado, I would like to introduce the Chair of the Department of Youth Affairs, Senator Amanda Shelton.
Thank you very much, Director Brennan. Buenas and half a day, everyone. As our director said, we'd like to welcome you to our historic Guam Congress building on behalf of the Guam Legislature. We're very, very happy to open up our home to you, the People's House. And it's not often that people get to have events in our session hall. This is a very rare event. And so we know that for the youth of Guam, it's something extra special that we make an exception for every year. So I hope you know how exciting this is for us to have you. And I hope you feel the same way being in this hall where so many of Guam's leaders have been before you. And I'm very excited to hear your speeches tonight, your ideas, all the hard work you've done over the last few weeks. I was sharing with the Lieutenant Governor that this is where really I got my start exploring different ideas in the oratorical contest in middle school, where I met some of my lifelong friends who were interested in the same things and really have carried me through until this day. And it was from this exploration and thinking about different ideas like breaking boundaries, building bridges, the power of diversity, that it will get you to be curious, to be lifelong learners, to be critical thinkers, and I think that's what's most important. And so in our resolution that you all heard a few minutes ago, recognizing Youth Month, we were talking about how the youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow, you're really the leaders of today. And so many of your ideas, I'm sure that we'll take home today, think a lot about, and hopefully practice in our daily lives too, to make Guam a better and brighter place for all of us. So we look forward to everything that you're going to say tonight. Don't be nervous. Have fun, relax. And I want you now to just turn to your coaches, your teachers, your parents. Say thank you to them. Give them a big round of applause, because I know that they spent many hours listening to you, probably heard your speech dozens of times, and they're still here tonight to support you. So please give all of your team behind you a big round of applause and a big thank you. And I also want to recognize the coordinator of Youth Month from the Department of Youth Affairs, Ms. Stephanie Lorenzo. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. And the entire DYA team who is here doing all the work behind the scenes, tabulating, and our director and deputy director. Thank you very much for doing this for our young people, for making this happen. All of the events that we will celebrate throughout the month of April, we're very excited, and we wouldn't be here today without you. So Siduas Masi, everyone, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Senator. I would now like to welcome, to give his remarks, please welcome our Segundo Magalahan Guahan Lieutenant Governor of Guam, the Honorable Joshua F. Tenorio.
Thank you very much. Half a day, everybody. How exciting, right? A little bit nervous. Just like Director Brennan said, I'm sure that your parents are a bit more nervous than you. In many ways, all of you, by being here, are already showing us, illustrating for us, the theme of this year's competition, breaking boundaries. I'm pretty sure that all of you are doing things you maybe didn't think that you'd do, maybe you didn't think you'd do again. Maybe you're challenging yourself. Being in middle school, the world is so open to you. You could be doing other things this evening, but you chose to represent your school to compete for an honor in winning this category. Building bridges. As Senator Shelton said, you're going to be meeting people that you may have not met before, people that you will see again as you advance in your career in school. Some of you may decide to run for office, be a member of the Youth Congress. Don't be surprised if you see somebody sitting next to you that is going to be elected with you. Or later on in life, you may find that as an adult, you're doing things and you see people that you kind of knew when they were developing themselves, and now you're in positions of authority. And then the power of diversity tonight, we're going to listen to all the different ways that you want to relate to us or explain to us this theme. And diversity in thought is such a big part of living in a free democracy. It's really good. So I want to thank you very much for taking the time to do this. I'm looking forward to meeting the winner. I'm going to be spending some time with you, and let's see how our day progresses. There's a lot of exciting things that are happening on the island, and I can't wait to give you an insight into what it's like to have a day as the student lieutenant governor. Senator Shelton, thank you for opening your home here at the Guam Legislature. As she pointed out, not many things can happen here at the Guam Legislature. It's very unique that we have an opportunity to be here in the people's house. This legislature is really the foundation of our democracy. It's an opportunity for the people of Guam, for their elected leaders to improve their lives. To the staff of DYA, thank you very much for the great work that you're doing. We're so happy that we're celebrating Youth Month post-pandemic, post-typhoon, in a very normal, regular way. Thanks for all the work that you do, and to the members of the Guam Youth Congress and to the Governor's Youth Advisory Council. Thank you for your vision and your foresight. I'm really, really impressed with the kind of things that are coming out of the Youth Congress and the Advisory Council. There are a lot of things that are coming into action because of that leadership. And to the judges, I am confident that you will do a good job to select a winner. And I would just say that sometimes people have different opinions about who will win. And it'll be on your shoulders that you'll get to determine that. So no pressure, no pressure. But again, students, have fun tonight and embrace this moment. And we look forward to you showing us who you are. Si Diyos Masi.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, Senator Shelton, and Director Brennan. And now for some rules of the contest. Contestants are not allowed to use any electronic devices during their presentation. There's a 3-minute minimum and a 5-minute maximum for contestants to present their speech. For every 5 seconds over the 5-minute time, 1 point will be deducted. There will be a 2-point penalty for 40 to 60 words added or missed. Anything over 60 words will result in a disqualification. Contestants will be signaled at the 1-minute warning, as Ms. Corrine will show you the sample and lift the 1-minute poster board. There we go. And after each presentation, judges will be given a few minutes to complete their scoring. Now, let's all introduce our judges for tonight's events. But before I do that, I would like to note that none of the contestants knew who the judges were until now. Our first judge is no stranger to the arts. He is a dancer and choreographer and the island of Guam, currently living in Los Angeles, California. With over 5 million followers across all social media, he has gone viral, creating dances and trends, gaining the recognition of Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Bruno Mars, Jennifer Lopez, and Ariana Grande. He has also choreographed and danced for Pia Miva, Steve Aoki, Kehlani, TikTok, and Disney World. Brian received his bachelor's degree in dance from Loyola Marymount University and is the choreographer for the international award-winning Skip Entertainment Company on Guam. Additionally, he is the professional content creator working for multiple brands, from McDonald's to Montclair, and a world traveler teaching the master classes from New York to Australia. Everyone, please help me welcome Brian Esperon. Thank you. Please make your way to the judges' table. Our next judge has a multifaceted career spanning the realms of media management and entrepreneurship. She is a dynamic professional known for her innovative leadership and business acumen. Currently, as the general manager of PBS Guam, she spearheads strategic initiatives to promote quality broadcasting and community engagement. In addition to her public service role, she is also the proud proprietor of the Blush Bridal, where she curates unforgettable experiences for clients seeking the perfect wedding ensemble, providing exceptional and personalized consultation to the brides-to-be, ensuring an unforgettable experience as they select their dream wedding attire. Please help me welcome Ina Carrillo. Our final judge is a son of Guam and currently serves as the Deputy Executive Manager of the Guam International Airport Authority. In addition, he also serves as the Treasurer and Investment Committee Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Government of Guam Retirement Fund and an adjacent faculty of the University of Guam, teaching courses in the undergraduate and graduate levels in accounting and public administration. Prior to being appointed to the airport, he worked in this very building as the director of the Guam Legislature's Office of Finance and Budget under former speakers Ben Pangilinan and B.J. Cruz, and subsequently was appointed as Deputy Administrator of the Guam Economic Development Authority, also known as the GEDA. He is happily married to Sarah Elmore and lives in a house owned by his 3 dogs, Unai, Apu, and Kulu. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Armio Ricky Hernandez.
And now for the introduction of the contestants. Presenters, as I call your name, please stand. Sage Arola, 7th grader, Ocean View Middle School, with the alternate Jayani Nedadog in 8th grade. Zeta Camacho, 7th grader from Bishop Baumgartner Memorial School, with the alternate Gracie D. Manabusen in 8th grade. Kelly Cho, 6th grader, St. John's School, with the alternate Melody Cho, 6th grade. Molly Dela Cruz, 8th grade, Santa Barbara Catholic School, with the alternate Marianne B. Fernando, 8th grade. Isabella Lee, 8th grade, Harvest Christian Academy. Kayla Grace Meno McIntosh, 8th grade, St. Francis Catholic School, with the alternate Amaya Luz Santos Leon Guerrero, 8th grade. And lastly, Serenity Owen, 7th grade, SIFA Charter School. Thank you, presenters. To kick off our speech tonight, our first presenter is Kelly Cho from St. John's.
Good afternoon and half a day. As a member of the younger generation, I'd like to celebrate the power of diversity, the strength in breaking boundaries, and the beauty of building bridges. Today, I welcome my fellow changemakers. As we take a look around, we see faces from different backgrounds, race, and ethnicities. Each and every one of us brings out a unique perspective in life. No matter where we come from, we're all the same people. Imagine if the world was like a big puzzle, but with giant walls between the pieces. It wouldn't be so fun, right? Having boundaries that restrict and confine us will eventually limit our potential. It causes us to create barriers between each other, but if we learn how to break down those walls and make new changes, the more likely we will open up to each other and learn to be great comrades. Breaking down those walls is a task that each and every one of us should attempt to accomplish. As we get older, we will learn that each of us are born with our unique individualities that make us special. Opening the door to different rooms will lead us to a whole new adventure. Not only will we seek new journeys, but it will potentially shape us to be a better person. We discover breathtaking new things we didn't know existed, such as new places, new ideas, and new friends. The beauty of building bridges is like making friendship highways. It is essential when we try to make new friends. Instead of keeping to ourselves and staying in our own little worlds, we reach out to others and make connections. When we build these friendship bridges, we create pathways for collaboration, cooperation, and mutual respect. We recognize that despite our differences, We're all part of the same human family, sharing the same hopes, dreams, and aspirations. We get to work together, help one another, and understand that even though we're different, we're all part of one big human team. It is through these connections that we find strength, resilience, and unity. The power of diversity can be beneficial when we recognize our differences and learn how to respect each individual values of our backgrounds. With that being said, the power of diversity lets us pledge to tear down walls that keep us divided, to reach out across barriers, and to embrace the beauty of our differences. Let us commit ourselves to building bridges of comprehension, compassion, and empathy. And let us never forget that it is our diversity that makes us truly stronger, truly resilient, and truly human. Today, as we stand on the brink of a new era, let us accomplish our commitment to building bridges, celebrating one another, and breaking boundaries. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Isabella Lee. Thank you everyone for your patience. Our next presenter is now Isabella Lee.
Einstein once said, "We must not only learn to tolerate our differences, we must welcome them as the richness and diversity which can lead to true intelligence." What is diversity? According to Merriam-Webster, the definition is the condition of having or being composed of differing elements. Examples including race, ethnicity, height, or anything that makes us different from the people around us. I feel that diversity is key for the topics I will be focusing on discussing: breaking boundaries and building bridges. Breaking boundaries and diversity are closely intertwined with each other. In my personal opinion, I believe that breaking boundaries is possible through finding strength and embracing each other's differences. For example, my grandmother owns a Korean deli here on Guam. To me, I feel she is breaking a boundary by using Korean food, which is typically different from what is usually found on the island. My mother also uses social media to promote the store and introduce Korean traditions related to Korean food. Now, there are many people who love Korean food and others who are more open to trying it. Through her courage in opening her Korean deli, a lot of people can experience and enjoy the diversity of food. Food is what helped my grandmother ultimately break boundaries here on Guam. Building bridges can be achieved through diversity. By understanding the importance of inclusion, we can learn to respect and show empathy towards other people. For me personally, I would like to build bridges with the people I struggle to get along with. The main reason might be due to our diversity. Those people might enjoy one thing and I don't, which is one of the main reasons why we don't get along. The next time I meet them, I will work towards building bridges with them by being open to understanding them in order to show respect and empathy. In conclusion, we now know breaking boundaries is possible if we can find strength and embrace each other's differences by embracing people who are different from you. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. Through that, your mindset can be open to many new possibilities. Building bridges can help us show respect and empathy towards others. We can use the skill to work towards getting along with others who are sometimes a little different from us by understanding each other. Finally, diversity, which is crucial for both breaking boundaries and building bridges, is important because it brings people from different backgrounds together, which can initially help bring different perspectives, ideas, and experiences. In turn, diversity can help us build a more inclusive, loving, and understanding world. Let's embrace our differences and strengths for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella. We will just now take a quick moment while the judges complete their scoring. All right, moving forward, our next presenter is Kayla McIntosh.
Journey beyond limits. Paulo Coelho's quote, "The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion," emphasizes a result of our actions rather than thoughts. Understanding the importance of shaping one's future rather than waiting for chances to present themselves is a turning point in personal development. As a teenage girl with a passion for sports and academics, I strive for excellence and aim to inspire others through my actions and decisions. This realization sparks a transformative shift in mindset where breaking down barriers, expecting variety, and establishing bridges become essential practices for promoting harmony, understanding, and development in an ever more complicated and interconnected world. It is fascinating to reflect on our early hopes and desires, as many of us feel a mix of excitement and fear when faced with the limitless possibilities of the future. My expression of a mixture of excitement and fear is typical of young adults who are going to travel into the unknown and deal with its obstacles. My mother's advice on the importance of present actions influencing our future outcomes is a valuable lesson for all. In today's society, the draw of social media often captivates us, yet we frequently overlook the potential repercussions of our digital actions. My mother consistently emphasizes to my brothers and I the critical importance of having extreme caution when sharing content online. She would call this akin to that of a tatamona, reminding us that what we post today could linger to influence our future choices profoundly. As someone who grew up in a family of 5, I have nurtured ambitious goals and prioritized academic performance. I strive to embody the qualities of a quintessential human being, respect for others, and relentlessly pursue a life lived to its fullest potential. Building bridges involves recognizing diverse ideas or facts and making meaningful connections between them, which requires expertise and problem-solving skills. It helps people understand the world around them and tackle challenges by utilizing a variety of viewpoints and concepts. Going to school or extracurricular activities throughout my day requires me to meet new people and create bonds. It is an awesome practice to put yourself out there more, so not only do you become a better person, but you may impact someone else's life in a blink of an eye and you may not even notice it. Establishing bridges takes time, perseverance, and open communication to manage differences, obstacles, and conflicts to discover common ground and come to mutually beneficial solutions. Patience is crucial in this process, but it may require breaking through personal barriers such as fear and doubt, as well as embracing vulnerability to having meaningful connections and collaborations. Differences can alter. In this complex and unpredictable world where life's twists and turns can leave us feeling uncertain, I often find myself feeling uneasy about the potential changes that differences could bring to my life or my relationships. It is the capacity to see people beyond the surface level and grasp the complexity of their identity and story. People who embrace diversity focus on finding solutions to problems and developing a growth mindset that fosters a flexible behavior and thought processes, essentially resilience moving forward. This deep realization is like having a superpower, like the soft, comforting light of a reading lamp falling on a book's pages. When someone says, "I can read you like a book," it means they're not looking beneath the surface to grasp the complexity of each person's identity and story. Developing a growth mindset fosters flexible behavior and thought processes in addition to opening up new learning opportunities. Embracing diversity, dismantling barriers, and building bridges is vital for promoting unity, comprehension, and progress in our complex and unified world. By respecting each other's differences and learning from one another, we can build a stronger, more inclusive society. Let us celebrate diversity, break down barriers, and work towards a more universal society where everyone feels valued and united. Together, we can create a brighter future for all. Because as Paulo Coelho once remarked, "The world is changed by example, not by your opinion. Sizolis Maasi.
Thank you, and we'll now take a moment for our judges to complete their scoring. Our next presenter is Molly Dela Cruz.
I am a taxi driver's daughter. Growing up, I was embarrassed of this, which eventually created an invisible boundary between my dad and I. I couldn't understand why he chose a taxi driver as his job and why he wasn't embarrassed like I was. This barrier I created in my mind was not only between my dad and I, but it also extended between my relationships with other people. It became apparent to me that I was different. I had the unnecessary need to be like everyone else who rode in a normal car. I let differences define the way I saw my dad and the way I perceived myself. Every day, he drives his taxi in hopes that my future will be brighter, in hopes that one day I too will have the drive to create a better future. When I was in elementary, career day talks were dreadful. I often shied away from talking about my dad's occupation and would try to divert the attention to anything else. While my other classmates bragged about their parents being a nurse, policeman, or business owner, I would only mention my mom, who had a normal job. It was easier to fit in than to be viewed as someone who was different. One day, a conversation I had in 6th grade changed my way of thinking. I was talking to a classmate who didn't know my dad was a taxi driver due to the boundary of embarrassment that was still there. She saw my dad drop me in his bright yellow taxi, and I was already preparing myself for the comment she would make. People usually say that they've never seen a taxi before and wonder how I can afford to go to a private school. However, during our conversation, she told me, "Wow, having a taxi is probably so cool. Does your dad have a mini TV in his car?" We both laughed, but I still hold on to that conversation today. It was a turning point for me. She was someone I looked up to, and seeing her different view of my dad made me realize that the boundary I made in my mind was unnecessary, a hindrance that created a gap between my dad and I. I used to think diversity was only between races and ethnicities. According to Merriam-Webster, diversity is the condition of having or being composed of different elements. One conversation has opened my eyes, and I realize now that diversity can be of many things. Diversity of how we see things, how we think, and how we understand. When we break boundaries that divide us, whether social, political, or cultural, we are able to see the goodness we hide from one another. We gain the need to reconnect and build bridges over these barriers that used to divide us. In diversity, we learn true power. Power that isn't accomplished alone or that's fueled by greed. It's the hidden and quiet power that can't be achieved through the efforts of one, but through the efforts of many. While I had this boundary up for many years, my dad didn't even notice it. He was proud of who he was and what he does, because through driving, he continues to provide for my family. I stand here today and encourage you to break those boundaries, stopping you from achieving true power in new relationships. I am not the same shy girl during career day. I am a taxi driver's daughter. Thank you.
Thank you, and now a moment for the judges to complete their scoring. Thank you. Our next presenter is now Zeta Camacho.
To paraphrase William Shakespeare, to Barbie or not to Barbie, that is the question. My mom said when my sister and I were growing up, one of the most important decisions she had to make, aside from where to send us to school or which doctor to take us to, was whether or not to allow her little girls to play with Barbie. To appreciate my mom's dilemma, one must understand that the Barbie of today isn't the Barbie of yesterday. When Barbie was created, the goal was to give girls a choice. Prior to Barbies, dolls only consisted of baby figures which we could nourish. In one sense, a Barbie doll was revolutionary because it consisted of a female figure which we could dress up. However, in another sense, Barbie advanced many stereotypes. When Barbie came out in the 1950s during our grandmother's time, they were only given two choices: a blonde or a brunette-haired, white-skinned Barbie. The first black-skinned Barbie did not come out until 1979. Thus, when our mothers were growing up, they likely did not have a Barbie that matched their skin tone. The first Asian and Latina Barbie did not come out until the late 1980s when my mom already outgrew her Barbie. Additionally, it does not matter how hard we work out, we can never really achieve a Barbie body. I share this story with you not to criticize Barbie because I really enjoyed playing with my Barbie dolls in dream houses, but to highlight the real complexity of diversity. Barbie's evolution demonstrates three important factors of the power of diversity. First, the power of diversity consists of breaking boundaries of perceived standards by acknowledging that there is no perfect standard of the human race. Remember, it took almost 20 years for Mattel to realize we cannot limit Barbie to just one skin tone with two different hair shades. Unlike our grandmothers or mothers, my friends and I were lucky enough to play with a Barbie that matched our skin tone. That was such a revolutionary boundary to break. It had such a big impact on us because we're finally able to embrace what we're born with. Breaking the boundaries also means moving away from the stereotypical roles of our gender. In 1999, President Barbie was introduced. Yet today, the United States has still not elected a female president. Second, the power of diversity consists of building bridges by acknowledging and respecting everyone's differences. Diversity isn't just about accepting differences in a person's physical attributes such as gender and race. At the heart of true diversity is the recognition that each and every one of us, you, and me, has a unique soul and a unique set of ideas. Although God created us in his image and likeness, we are not meant to be the same. Even if we oppose someone's ideas, we still must respect those ideas. Even if we disagree with another person's perspective, we still must respect that person. Third, the power of diversity means we must be prepared to evolve and grow. By the end of our lifetime, there'll be more shades and sizes of Barbie holding different jobs and empowering everyone to be the best versions of themselves. But the challenge does not stop there. This is because as the world keeps evolving and growing, so does its people, their ideas, and so does Barbie. The Barbie evolution shows how far women have come, but it also shows that our journey is not complete. And as you may have guessed, my mom allowed my sister and I to Barbie, not because she wanted us to be like Barbie, but the more diverse Barbie became, the more she has evolved to be like our grandmothers, our mothers, and all of us. I paraphrased William Shakespeare before. Now let me paraphrase the Barbie movie. Barbie is everyone, and everyone is Barbie.
That is the power of diversity.
Thank you, and now another moment for our judges to continue their scoring. Thank you. Let's now please welcome our next presenter, Sage Arola.
Hello and half a day. My name is Sage Arola. I'm in the 7th grade and I'm from Guam, a proud Chamorro who lives in the village of Agat. Today, I want to talk to you about breaking boundaries, building bridges, and the power of diversity. As a kid, the meaning of breaking boundaries says a lot about how you are noticed by lots of different people. I was a quiet kid growing up. I mostly talked when I was spoken to or told to say something. I'm shy, but now I'm more confident today. Growing up, my parents were doing good, but my dad was a drug addict for a long while. He was arrested many times for different reasons. On February 5th, 2023, my brother sent me a news post about my dad and how he was arrested and charged with a 3rd-degree felony. I saw no hope of him recovering. Then on April 16th, 2023, he showed up at my brother's first Holy Communion. He looked a whole lot better than he was before. That proves he broke his boundaries and became sober from his drug usage. When my brothers and I saw him, we weren't even sure how to react, considering that we didn't know he was going to arrive. He came and rebuilt his relationship with us. He was a whole different person at the church. He then asked us to go with him that day to catch up and celebrate for my brother's first Holy Communion. My brothers refused, but I agreed to not make him feel bad. When I was in his truck, my stepmom was explaining how he recovered. Seeing him today makes me happy because it taught me a lot about breaking boundaries. I chose the story of my dad and his recovery because it taught me a lot about breaking boundaries and building bridges. He broke the boundaries of addiction and rebuilt bridges with us, the people he loves the most. My dad's recovery and how it affected me is life-changing because He always wanted to be a good father and always wanted to show us who he really is. Today, I appear as a new and happy person who's motivated to make a big change, as my dad did, and to step forward and make a difference. Relating to me, as I got older, I became more confident with myself and more socially active. As a student leader, I built bridges in my school community by keeping in mind that there's a need to respect and appreciate everyone. The way I demonstrated the person I am today is to show people who I am. I also believe that the world learns from other people's examples. Through our learning experiences with others, we also add and create our own values and identities. This is what makes you who you are. After all the events that happened at the church, my mom and dad started to respect each other more, which is demonstrating the power of diversity. Speaking of diversity, the power of diversity, to me, means showing respect for people who come from different backgrounds. I grew up in many different households, and some are better than others. People have their own stories and different places they come from, but we all have to respect their natures and to honor them without prejudice towards their ethnicities, religions, abilities, genders, and sexual orientations. Some of my friends, for example, they don't socialize with other diverse groups because they fear that mixing in may cause problems. I also encourage them to explore other opportunities to learn to be in a diverse community. Why is the power of diversity important, you may ask? Well, going back to that time in my life when my dad was going through addiction, my parents had a custody residential schedule for me and my siblings. My parents have different personalities and backgrounds. They have their different opinions about the custody of me and my siblings, but they choose to respect each other and ultimately come to an agreement. This shows me that the power of diversity is important because it helps us become more respectful towards one another and to live in peace. All in all, breaking boundaries, building bridges, the power of diversity teaches me that I can be the change I want to see. I don't need to listen to any of those other stereotypes out there that try to divide people. Just remember, though you see things are looking down, there's always a different perspective that can be seen to make the best of it. Whether it'll take a day or a few years, we can all make changes in ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, and another moment for our judges to complete their scoring. And now our final presenter for tonight. Please welcome Serenity Owen.
How do you stamp out prejudice, wipe away hatred, and reconcile sworn enemies? Could something as simple as contact with diverse groups of people do that? Can diversity break the boundaries that separate us from one another and build bridges of love and acceptance between communities that may at first seem incompatible? Humans are tribal animals. Thinking in stereotypes and being quick to judge or form prejudice seems to be rooted deep within human nature. But when we choose to live and work and act in diverse communities, we can rehabituate ourselves to see others not as outsiders to be feared, but rather as human beings just like ourselves, worthy of love and acceptance and sometimes good-natured laughter. A community that lacks diversity, lacks understanding, lacks a wider view of the world we live in, and therefore is unable to appreciate the beautiful mosaic that is the human species. As a 13-year-old kid, I don't have a lot of years behind me, yet I have experienced the power of diversity in my life. From age 6 to 11, I went to a school in the suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio, and there were people of many religions there and people of many opinions, but not a diversity of race. The diversity in religion was great because it meant we had opportunities to celebrate many more holidays. Kwanzaa and Hanukkah were just as fun to celebrate as Christmas, and these celebrations gave me the opportunity to learn the history of the people around me. But as one of the only brown Hispanic kids in this majority white school, lack of diversity in race ended up negatively affecting me. Though I don't have any stories of students being prejudiced towards me, I have quite a few stories of the teachers. Teachers at my school would make comments about things like my long black hair or my brown skin. My art teacher couldn't even bother telling the difference between me and the only other brown girl in my class, even though she was Indian and I'm Hispanic. There was a teacher aide who would constantly come after me and would sometimes refer to me as that brown girl, though I know she knew my name. Or even my old math teacher, who much like the others, assumed the worst about me simply because my skin was a bit darker than the average student there. All of which wouldn't really have happened if the school was more diverse in pigment. If racial diversity was the accepted norm, then I could have been Serenity instead of that brown girl. One thing I noticed about these teachers who couldn't move beyond their boundaries was that they were untraveled and had spent their entire lives in monocultural bubbles. Living in a monoculture is much harder to do on an island like Guam. Guam is a small place, but the diversity in culture and race is huge, and the regular interactions with others outside of our tribes and families make this island such a kind and inviting place to so many people. Unlike my experience in the suburbs of Cincinnati, so far in all my schooling here on Guam, I've not really had a bad race-related experience. The natural diversity of this island makes us better neighbors and classmates. Although diversity is important, there is one essential thing you need to make diversity worthwhile: contact. Positive contact. Diversity will only stamp out prejudice, wipe away hatred, and reconcile sworn enemies if the positive experiences of diversity outweigh the negative ones. Contact won't work right away, and I've learned this from experience. I remember a girl from elementary school. We had a mutual dislike of each other for no other reason than that we had never had a real chance to talk. We figured we were just too different from one another. Then we got paired up in a STEM class for 2 whole years. At first we clashed, constantly contradicting each other. But after being in productive contact with each other for over a full year, trying to understand and accept our differences, we realized that these differences were what made us so much more interesting to each other. And sure enough, once we embraced our diversity, all our assignments started getting better too. How do you stamp out prejudice, wipe away hatred, and reconcile sworn enemies? All we have to do is get diverse people together in positive settings. Diversity truly has the power to break down our dividing boundaries and bridge us together as one big human family.
Thank you to our presenters. This concludes the speech portion of the program. We will now take a brief intermission while the judges complete their scoring and the tabulators tally up the scores. We will now also turn the mic over to Deputy Director Weekly.
We're now going to take a 10, 15-minute intermission while the judges complete their scoring and the tabulators complete their report, okay? So we're going to take a few-minute intermission. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. If we can have everybody take their seats. While they complete the tabulation and verification of the scores, we would like to now have the presentation of certificates and lays to our participants and alternates. I would like to call up to the front Lieutenant Governor Tenorio, Senator Shelton, Director Brennan, Youth Speaker Lily, and Guam Governor's Youth Advisory Council Representative Irie Kirigua, and our three judges, Ms. Ina Carrillo, Dr. Ricky Hernandez, and Mr. Brian Esperon. Okay. Participants, as I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate, and then please proceed to the second level and remain there for the official photo. Okay. I'd like to call on Ms. Hanyo Kelly Cho. Isabella Lee. Kayla McIntosh. Molly Dela Cruz. Zeta Camacho. Sage Arola. Serenity Owen. Now for our alternates, Jayani Nedada. Gracie Menabusen. Sanyo Melody Cho. Marian Fernando. Amaya Lou Santos Leon Guerrero. Thank you, everyone. If we could have the presenters to please remain up at the front. We're going to be announcing the winners soon. Participants, you may return to your seats. Oh, sorry. Let's do one. Thank you, contestant. Before I announce the winners, there are two announcements I would like to make. First, the winner and all of tonight's participants are invited to attend the Governor's proclamation signing designating the month of April as Youth Month, scheduled for this Friday, April 5th at 1:30 p.m. at Adelaide. Second, the winner of tonight's contest, Youth Lieutenant Governor, along with tomorrow night's winner, Youth Governor, will take part in a radio interview on Tuesday, April 9th, highlighting the 2024 Youth Month and reflecting on what this month's theme means to them. Thank you. Okay, the results are in, tabulated by, not Ernst & Young, sorry, by DYA. The runner-up for the 2024 Youth Month Oratorical Contest is Zeta Camacho, Bishop Baumgardner. First runner-up, Zeta Camacho. And now, the winner of the 2024 Youth Month Oratorical Contest and the next Youth Lieutenant Governor of Guam is Molly Dela Cruz, Santa Barbara. The 2024 Youth Lieutenant Governor of Guam is Molly Dela Cruz. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, judges. Now I'll turn this back over to the MCs.
All right, this concludes the oratorical contest, and we want to thank the following: the Office of the Governor of Guam, Speaker and members of the 37th Guam Legislature, the Office of Senator Amanda Shelton, the 34th Guam Youth Congress, the Governor's Youth Advisory Council, Mr. Joseph San Agustin, Executive Director and the AV and Facility Management Team of the Guam Congress Building, the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence, contestants and alternates, our judges, parents, teachers, administrators, students, and supporters, and finally, the wonderful staff at the Department of Youth Affairs. Congratulations to the winners and all participants.